Now the third thing in Matlab is actually how to do your looping and control sequence in the Matlab, right? How to do that? Let's actually have a look. We have created a file that's actually if else.m, right? So it's actually in front of you. So how you actually do looping in Matlab? You have the same for loop, right? Like you have in Python, right? So what is the syntax, right? You actually start your loop with for and end your loop with end, right? Start your loop with for and end your loop with end, right? And these the body of this particular loop is actually indented with the block of say tab, right? Whenever you actually come here, right, you actually hit enter, you will actually get the block started, right? Or if you are actually just starting with a particular line, right, then you can actually hit tab, right, something like this, right? So this is how you can actually do looping, same as Python, right? Like how do Python indents blocks, right? So what is actually happening here? I is taking the values, right? Let me actually first run it, right? So I is taking the values from 1 to 3, right? 1 to 3, right? In Python, in the range function, right, what happens is that the 3 was actually not getting included, but in the Matlab, whatever is actually defined as the end, it is also included, right? So I is taking the values from 1, 2, and 3, right? So what is actually happening here? We are just printing the things that is actually I in between the body of the loop. So for the printing, as we know, we are using the dest function. But what something special is actually happening here, right? Iteration is there in the string, that is quotes, and then nothing is actually in between, and then followed by the num to scri. So as you can guess, num to scr is actually a function, in built function in Matlab, that converts from number to string. And what is actually converting? It's actually converting this particular number I to string, so that these two can be concatenated. These two can be concatenated, right? And these two things are actually getting concatenated and being separated by a space, and these two things are kept between brackets so that they can be concatenated and they can be treated as a single entity. And then this concatenated entity is actually going to this function, which is actually getting printed on the screen. Now how to do if else, right? That's the second thing. So let's actually define a particular variable that's actually x equals to 10, semicolon is optional, right? You can actually define or not define, doesn't matter. So basically x equals to 10, right? You are actually defining x to be 10, and then if x is actually greater than 5, then you are printing this greater than 5, else you are printing this less than or equal to, and then you are doing end. Whenever you are doing f, you need to do end, right? Similarly for the for, you need to do end to actually define the end of the for. And you can also have a else block, which is also indented with a indentation of tab, right? And then this is as same as usual, just to display. So let's actually just click on run and see what happens. So basically what is happening is that now you have I and x defined as the variables, and then iteration 1, 2, 3 as was defined by the for loop, and x equals to 10, so which is actually greater than 5, and that's why greater than 5 is getting printed. So this is how you actually do if else and for loops in Matlab. Thanks so much, everyone.